already know what it is. It's your boy Ace of Cross Culture back with another one. ATAS episode, what are we at? 48. 2 episodes till our giveaway. Want to make sure that you guys are on YouTube and commenting on episode number 50 and 51 in the actual comment section. That's how you'll be able to enter. We will be giving more details on episode 50. But right now, I want to make sure that my co-host gets to introduce himself. I'm going to kick it over to him right now.
It's your boy Tipsy Japan back with another episode of ATAS.
Okay.
ATAS. Yeah. Feels good to be back over here in Cross Culture, man. No, I like the notes that you were hitting right there with the introduction. Like that's exactly what they like to hear. It's another episode of ATAS across time and space. Yeah. It's good to be back. As you know, our host for the day, like as he said, we're on 48. But 50 and 51, you know, the sweepstakes is coming. He's setting up. He's laying the lines. Fukusen Oshiku, right? So they say out here in Japan, Chiba, Japan. That's where he's signing in from. And you can let them know where you're signing in from across the culture, across the river.
Here in El Centro.
El
Centro.
Centro.
Center of California. Not really the center, but it's the central area here. So it's called El Centro.
It's the center of the North American continent, right?
No, nowhere near.
Well, hold on. If Central America is right next to you guys,
Central America isn't right next to you.
What are y'all doing?
So,
right, name change.
So look. Mexico does not consider themselves Central America. Like that's a whole thing. Like, they got a whole thing.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, we're north. We're part of North America. Type thing. Yeah. So it's North America, Central America, South America. They're just like, no, we're part of the North American continent. Do not lump us in with
with who?
The Central America. Like I've said it before and people were just like, no, we're not Central America. Like, but I do.
Why not? I mean, I mean, folks don't want to necessarily be lumped in culturally with, you know, the whole other continent. But I don't even what. Oh, okay. So what's in Central America? Excuse me.
Central America is just those few countries in between North and South America. So there's. I'm looking. I want to look it up.
Is it a continent?
No, it's not a continent. It's kind of just the in between.
Just an not even an archipelago.
Not an archipelago. It's if anything, it would be considered more like a strait. I think that's what they call it.
Okay, is the Caribbean in Central America? Because it's like it goes around this side, and I was thinking that the other side of the Caribbean Sea would be.
So I'm looking at it right now. North America thus encompasses Canada, the United States, Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, and the Caribbean countries. So we're all part of North America.
Well, the North American continent, yeah. But Central America, when we say Central America,
is Mexico
maybe doesn't even exist.
Yeah, because I mean, I just put, is it part of North America? And that's what it came up. Okay, so I'll put Central America. Let's see. Is Mexico part of North or Central America? So it does bring up a distinction of the two. So there has to be some distinction between the two. Not really able to see what that is. Hence grouping Mexico as part of Central America. So this part says that it is part of Central America. But I think that's just, maybe it's just a cultural thing. Like we want to be part of America. Yeah, I'm not too sure where the lines are drawn and how you want to divvy that up. But
yeah, I mean the World Atlas, the one that a lot of the maps that I grew up with
Mhm.
refers to Central America as everything south of Mexico. So Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. And what's this? San Salvador. What country is that?
El Salvador.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's maybe this is the old map, but it's 7 countries.
I see. So
Yeah.
not including Mex.
Not including Mexico.
So I don't know. Maybe the jury's out on it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's like the bridge basically. Like Mexico, enough of Mexico is spread this way and that way. Plus, when you think of Mexico and how much of the United States was Mexico, you can't just be like, all right, well, y'all are all the way down in the south. That's a whole different
true.
thing. That doesn't make that much sense. I can understand.
California, like all of
Correct.
California, used to belong to Mexico. That's
Yeah,
why all
exactly.
the naming conventions are like Los Angeles, which are the Angels. You know, the city of angels. They
Mhm.
call it El Centro, where I'm at. Then you have Calexico and Mexicali, which are Mexico and California kind of name swapped.
Mhm.
So yeah, actually, if you go into Mexico from where I am now,
Mhm.
the area there, the first state that you get into is called Baja California, which is
Baja
literally
California.
lower California.
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, all the naming conventions are still there, but
Yeah.
the U.S.
yeah.
is just like, nah, we want that. Give me
You
that.
want this part. Yeah. But I mean, introducing our states, geez. Yeah. It's that's what cross culture is about though, right?
Oh yeah,
Explaining, bringing the cross to the culture and bringing the culture to the cross, and
Mhm.
talking about where they intersect and intertwine.
def.
So it's good to be back.
Oh yeah.
I do have to apologize for our guests that were getting down over there on TPC Japan last week because it was a travesty.
Look, I already got somebody water pulse laser, hoping for no tech issues. Yeah.
Yes.
Last week was pretty crazy.
It was a wild ride. That was a wild ride. But it's good to be back. And got things worked out. So if it gets crazy, it's got to get crazy on multiple levels, which it did already. It's like a perfect storm. You only get that once, right?
I hope so.
Right.
I'm not trying to have it twice. Yeah. We're doing different things with the setups and trying to make sure that it comes direct to you as fresh as possible, and the best way possible.
Okay.
We got another one from Water Pulse Laser. It says an enjoyable travesty.
Appreciate that. I appreciate
At least we're enjoyable through the trials and tribulations and the trouble that we're going through.
Mhm.
All right. We're going to jump right into it. You already know that we're reading Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari. And as you can see, those that are watching on YouTube, we are in chapter 4.1. So there was a little bit of a hiccup last week in which we went over a chapter that we already went over.
Review.
So I mean, it's not the worst thing that could have happened, but we do apologize. Some wires got crossed, and you did get that message twice. But going forward, we're gonna have the chapter number, or at least I will. It'll save us some trouble, and hopefully you don't get the same message twice unless you're listening to us on Spotify and you're choosing to do it.
You can catch us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and anywhere that you get your podcasts. All right, it's out there. Or you can catch the live over here on YouTube. Join us in the comment section. Please say something. It's okay. Oh, nephew, I saw you on YouTube. I saw my nephews, and I love you guys so much. Like I appreciate the direct message, but you can drop it on YouTube. That's okay.
Oh yeah.
So we know in the moment, and then that's just like live energy infusion, right? But we appreciate it either way. Yeah.
All right. So jumping into chapter 4, because we're gonna try not to make it too long tonight. Oh,
let's get it.
That's not the one. company gods. I didn't even want to bring it up yet, but finger slip. So we're gonna roll with it. So chapter 4 is talking about some. I feel like it was a mixed bag thus far. It wasn't a very clear line that I saw weaving through, but there are a lot of concepts that are coming up, and because this is the first chapter of part 2 of the book, usually that's what happens. In the very first chapter, we got like a few different ideas, and then in the later in that same chapter, and then chapters 2 and 3, those were expounded upon. Right. One of the things that came up is kind of branding. You know, it talks about how different gods had different brands, you know, insignias, you know. So people are looking at these people and like, oh, well, you know, I can tell what god you serve because you have their insignia on. But for us today, it's more about companies. It's all about the companies, and these are not, you know, gods with a capital G, even though it says it there. But they're seen as these kind of end all be all, because you get these conversations. What are the two biggest tech companies right now?
Oh man, I'm gonna say 2. I was thinking GAFA, but Apple would be one. GAFA.
What is GAFA? Oh, now, dang.
Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, you got 4 then.
Yeah, GAFA.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought GAFA was one company. I was like, whoa, have I been under a rock?
No. I mean, GAFAT is probably next, you know, because Tesla is changing to more of a techie company. It's got Twitter now, which is huge, but it might tank Twitter. We don't know.
But I mean, that's not Tesla as a company. That's Elon as a man.
Yeah. But like
SpaceX, Tesla, and Twitter.
He is the tech company himself. Like his personality, what the stock price does is reflective of his actions, his nature, his dodginess with his Dogecoin, you know.
But I mean, that's true of any business, because
it shouldn't
say that
it should not. It should, like,
because if your CEO says, all right, I don't like black people, trust and believe your stock is going to tank. Like, period.
But most CEOs aren't putting their face out there and just talking about their own like personal thing, you know, because they understand that their company, the mission of their company, is not necessarily related to their personal views about this, that, and the other. But Elon, actually his name is biblical. I don't know if you've gone through the genealogy of Joseph's kids recently. As, you know, it's 12 tribes. But yeah, Elon definitely came up in Genesis chapter 49. I'm just dropping it on cross culture because that's what y'all do over here. That's what I heard, man. I mean, you know. Hey, Elon.
Look,
ELON.
I don't ever remember. No, look at this. Elon appears in the book of Judges, chapter 12, verses 11 and 12. He was a member of the tribe of Zebulun.
Yes. Zebulun. With a name like that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not looking at it.
Served as a judge of Israel for 10 years. He was preceded by Ibsen and succeeded by Abdon. Elon, along with Tola, Yair, Ibsen, and Abdon, are only briefly mentioned and may be the names of clans. Okay.
I mean, it started with a person, but then it kind of becomes like a clan after.
Yeah, I mean, because
how many kids you have?
The tribes of Judah, you know, are named such, but they're not really all Judah. You know, they're different clans, different names. But Judah's one of them, you know. And Woo. Go
But-
through all the genealogies. But
Yeah, but
you kind of just pass down. But that's all of what's it called, kids? Not
well, it's.
Joseph. Joseph's father. Oh my goodness.
I mean, that's all quite personal. Which I mean, like the genealogies are all like personal tracking of the people. But then we say, personally, if you have a very charismatic CEO, then that's going to affect the stock price. And yeah, it does happen from time to time. Trump is Trump. Anything that you see with Trump name on it, it's reflective of Trump. Or no, it reflects Trump. Yeah,
it's reflective of Trump. Yeah, you said it right.
It's reflective of him. Okay, good. Yeah, it's reflective of him. Tesla does the same. Yeah, I mean, Elon is a very, very, intelligent man when it comes to, rockets. All right, rocket science. Like he's an engineer, at heart. And yes, SpaceX, Tesla, especially Tesla, like the car company. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then, I mean, how that relates to Twitter, I don't know, where that's going to go.
It was a whole thing. That's why he decided to buy it. I don't know. It seemed like more of a frivolous purchase. And then it was a whole free speech thing. And the word that was trending the most was the N-word. Yeah. Once the free speech aspect was there, people were just
let it all
like
out.
whole tweets, just the N-word over and over and over and over and over again.
Why?
I mean,
for what?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But about company gods, yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah. You have these companies, and people are worshiping these companies. We defend these gods. You use Apple. Why would you ever use Apple? Clearly Google is superior. You're still buying groceries. I just go to the Amazon fresh store and I get all my stuff there. It's like we will defend these companies more than our Heavenly Father. It's kind of crazy.
And that is deep. That right there is deep because Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Oh
right?
Gosh.
Yeah.
The Sega does what Nintendo don't.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does. Right? Let's bring it back. Let's bring it way back.
Way back.
But they were battling over our hearts, the hearts and the minds of the people.
Yeah. Divisive. Sorry, not decisive. Divisive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
look. Just jumping back to the whole N-word. We got Water Pulse Laser saying use of that word went up 500% the day after he took over. 500%.
Why? I mean, seriously, folks. What purpose does it serve? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not one to drop the N-bomb. I get a
It's
pass
not a bomb.
apparently. But
for me, if we want to dwell on that a little bit, it's not even a bomb for me. It's just another word. But if the amount of value that you attach to it, or the amount of connotation that's attached to it by people, is what could make it very hurtful or make it very, a kind of old connective tissue. In the best sense, it's a strong connective tissue that makes people feel like, oh, you're my brother or whatever, blah blah blah. And in the worst sense, it's like, oh, like they eat you and you are them. Well, like, have we decided not to look to the future? Can we not figure out a better way to relate to one another? I mean, we're struggling. We are struggling. If that's the epitome of the conversation at this point.
Yeah. So that actually brings up my next point. Right.
Let's unpack that.
Yeah, we gotta unpack that. In this chapter, the formulation of language, not spoken but written, actually did come up.
Mm.
And there was the example given of rice in China.
Mhm.
And what was said about the rice in China is like, oh, we have so much rice, and everybody was kind of padding the numbers as it went up the supply chain.
Mhm.
So when it got up to like the government level, oh, they were like, whoa, we have all this surplus of rice.
Mhm.
Let's sell some off. If we have so much, then we can afford to sell.
Mhm.
And boom, so many people died because there was no rice. I
Mm.
mean,
Mhm.
you can probably speak to this being out in Japan. How
Mhm.
big is rice in
Oh.
Japan? I mean, I know it's not China. I'm not trying to say that the two are one or what have you, but in Asian
No, no,
countries,
no, no, no. Asian
it's very
countries,
big.
rice is the staple,
Mhm.
for good reason. The rice crop is protected. The rice farmers are protected, or they make sure that they're protected through lobbying. Their association is called JA, Japan
Okay.
Agriculture, and yeah, and they have JA has farmers markets up and down the country, right? If you need to get fresh produce, they got you. If you're
Okay.
producing anything, you are a member, all right? And yeah, they do lobby for protections for rice. People in the countryside do have their own kind of rice fields, but slowly and surely, those lands are being bought up by larger families or larger companies that will manage that land. And to whatever extent that they can repurpose it, and use it for other things, they try to, but they have to manage it too because the population of Japan is going down.
Mm.
So can it be sold abroad? How will it be sold abroad? Is it going to be a part of something called the TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement? Yeah.
Hmm.
The United States backed out of that. Well, the Trump administration backed out of it. Biden wants to get back in.
Of course.
But yeah, like Barack Obama bartered, on that kind of deal to get the U.S. into it. It's basically a free trade agreement for the Pacific countries all along the rim. So you got Australia in there, you got, I think, Korea in there, you got Japan in there, just, along the edges. And so Japanese rice, no tax. They didn't want to hear that. American wheat, no tax to Japan. America didn't want to hear that. So when Trump got in with his protectionist self, America first, whatever. He's like, no, we can't do the TPP. Get out, we out. And he got out, and folks thought Japan was going to get out because, they follow what the U.S. says all the time. But no, okay, fine. Japan will be the leader, and we'll set our own standards within the TPP. So yeah, they have a free trade agreement with the countries along the rim, and Japanese rice is well known for its quality, and it's got a brand. It's a brand. It's not worshipped per se, but if you go anywhere, you see Koshi Hikari, bang, or Hitomebore, bang, Akita Komachi, bang. Like those are some really excellent rices.
Excellent rices. Not something I thought I would ever hear.
How you mean?
But,
how you mean? Or you mean like a
no,
just rice,
just the yeah, like those words together. Excellent rices.
Well, excellent breads, you could say, right?
Yeah. No. I'm not saying that doesn't make sense. I didn't wake up this morning and said, I'm gonna hear excellent rices today.
Fine rices and wine.
Those rices. But just give the people a little bit of a lesson here. What is the name of each meal And how does it correlate to rice in Japan? So breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Oh, well. Okay. Oh no, I feel like an SME on that one, subject matter expert. Okay, so asa gohan is breakfast rice. Hiru gohan is afternoon rice. Goru gohan, ban gohan is nah. I was off the beat. Hold on. Ban gohan is evening rice. Any gohan asa meshi is rice. Every gohan is just rice. In my country, by the way, beikoku is rice.
Look at them. Got the flow going.
I'm saying, I hope the music is lined up properly. Yeah.
It sounds like it was on my end. So.
Like beikoku, by the way, is also rice country. Beikoku is America.
What?
Yeah.
Why is America rice country?
It's because rice is beautiful. So America the beautiful. Fine. Beikoku.
Oh wow.
But Koreans say the same thing. Like miguk is America. And it's either, I think it's rice, or it might be the character for beautiful. The me and B sound very similar. You know, and so that there's kind of some overlap. And then Japanese and Chinese, like the character for beautiful is pronounced mi or B.
Okay.
So yeah, bikoku, mikoku, beikoku. They're all kind of linked together.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
That's one of those doors you can just open up and study a foreign language, guys. Hey, cross over them cultures, man. Get over there.
Hey, love to see it. So just a shout out to Martin Luther King Day. Speaking of cross culture, and I was just thinking that I have two beautiful mixed race babies.
Yeah,
you know, that wouldn't be possible without the struggle of Martin Luther King and his messages, everything that he did for not only Black culture, but cultures in general, the mixing of cultures. I feel like that was a huge first step. But we're gonna jump right down into the next, and we supposedly only have 3 minutes left, so we might have to pick it up a little bit. But systems over the individual.
Okay.
I just want to hit on this one a little bit.
Okay.
Because let's say, as an English teacher, you don't like, and I'm not saying this, but you don't like a certain group of people, right?
Okay.
And then a representative of that certain group of people in your class, or you're giving them a private lesson. But you have your system in place. The system. Yes?
Oh, you mean the method? What you mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
your
that's
system.
well known. That's in the dictionary. Like across, you know. Yeah.
So that's your system that's in place. You know, the method is your system. You know, that governs what you do, how you do, when you do, right? How you, when it's safe to move along, when you need to review more with the client, you know, all of that. I'm guessing. Yeah? More or less. Yeah.
All right, like the poker face response.
Is your SOPs, your standard operating practices.
The thing is, as a teacher, and I'll give the I'm not going to give like the corporate response, but as a teacher, as an educator, and as a person working in the private sector, your method, your theory of how language should be taught and how time should be spent is informed by not only the people who are, you know, paying you, but also the people who you're delivering it to, how you were educated, how you were trained, how, you know, every interaction kind of teaches you how to do that thing better, which is not just communicating, because at some point you got to realize that you got 2 ears and one mouth, right? You have to realize that. And are you there? Are you there to give that other person the opportunity to improve their language skills and to expand their understanding of culture? Is telling them that this is what culture is the best way to get them to know that? Or is it providing this sandbox, providing parameters that you know are proven to lead to an increase in fluency and accuracy over time? You know, like, people need both. They need the book knowledge. They need, experience. They need coaching. 50% of learning, though, is actually school of hard knocks. It's getting out there and talking to the people.
Oh yeah.
And so people do go to English conversation schools to get comfortable with just talking to people. There are other places out there where they can go, like, they can, contact someone in the Philippines or Manila or wherever, and just have like 25-minute just talk time. I just need to talk to a native. There are websites out there like Hi Native and so on, right?
Oh yeah.
Where you can just, talk to somebody. It doesn't have to have that structure. And people don't know the value of the structure until they try something that's unstructured. And maybe something unstructured is good for them, But I find that the vast majority of people, like, if they have a coach that knows how to manage their time for them so that they can get the most out of it, then they'd appreciate that. And that's why I work in the private sector for a language company, offering my services to that language company because we're in line in terms of our vision for how that time is best spent. But make no doubt about it, regardless of who signs the paycheck, I am self-employed. So that's why I don't drop my company name, because it's a mutual relationship, and I appreciate that, 100%. But I am self-employed, so they're giving me the opportunity to improve myself and to deliver, to the people so that they can deliver to the people. To give people that, to give individuals the opportunity to improve their language ability and their understanding of foreign cultures. Like, that's right in line with what I really, really, really want, because I felt so much expansion in my life being able to be part of that, for Japanese, like, my life expanded through language study and through going out and getting it. But it's not that easy for people to just go study abroad. So how can you get it done in your country, face to face or online? All right. Who's doing it the best? Hey, 99% very satisfied or satisfied, period. All right. They're doing it the best. I'm doing it the longest.
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing about the systems that we have in place is that sometimes you hit that wall where you're thinking, well, do I really want to help this set of people, or do I qualify myself as an expert even though I'm not of this group of people? And because of the systems that we have in place, I've definitely met my fair share of, like, anti-vaxxers, in my line of work, and they're just like, oh no, I don't want to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and to each their own. But this is somebody who I am 3 feet away from, and I have to take my precautions. I have to, mask up and make sure that I'm conducting my intake in such a way that it's not perceived as though I don't want to give services to this person. And that is the system that we have set in place. Because even if I feel that this person is X, Y, and Z, I can't treat them like they're X, Y, and Z, because it's not professional.
Right. That's really important. I would I have to speak to that 100%. You know, like the systems, there is a such thing as, you know, function before form. You know, and focusing on the function 100%. What am I trying to do? What is my, you know, I want to get to this person or this group of people 100%. But then there's also form. You know, like I respect this system because the system produces. And then now within these parameters, within this system, how can I deliver good across the board to all men? Make sure the rain falls on everyone and the sun shines on everyone.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. You're alluding to
it's godlike,
to the Sermon on the Mount, when Christ says that God makes the rain to fall on the just and the wicked. So you should be like your Father in heaven, or so this way you are perfect like your Father in heaven. You're basically treating everybody the same.
Be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect.
Yes.
Dropping that.
So I mean, I want to jump. Are you finished?
I mean, so about systems over the individual. Yeah. I mean, like, as I get older, I kind of respect systems more than I did before. It might be 1984. I didn't mean to rhyme that, but yeah. All right. Orwell. You know, Orwell. What's his name?
Who are you talking about?
Come on, 1984. Orwellian. Orwell, right?
Yes, Orwell. Yes.
Yeah. His first name
you said Orville. I was like, Orville Redenbacher? Like, what are you doing?
I know, it's because of V and a W. German people talk to me every day, bro. Like,
yeah,
Germans and Indians, they will mess you up with them V's and W's. I'm telling you, you'll be driving around with a V dub, like nothing.
I'm done.
The people's car.
Yes, the Volkswagen.
The folks bragging.
So the last topic I have here is textual criticism. And this one I just wanted to bring up, pardon me, from I gotta dab on them real quick. Just from the biblical, well, not just from a biblical perspective, but that's what I learned about it because of my undergrad. So the invention of the written language brought a few things, you know, the idea of, so shall it be written, so shall it be done, you know, and also the fact of decrees and scribes being able to obliterate whole nations, just a stroke of the pen. So, when it comes to the Bible, there are a few different texts that we attribute to the canonical Bible.
Sacred, or be sacred or not sacred.
Be sacred texts. And this was the Council of Nicaea. Oh my goodness. Council of Nicaea is the one, or the council.
Is it 217 or 218?
I can't remember.
About there. Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to remember the year.
Okay. All right. It was a quiz. It was a quiz.
The Council of Nicaea sat together and basically went over the books of the Bible, or those quote unquote claiming to be books of the Bible. And they looked at everything and they compared the texts, they compared the principles, they compared everything down to the letter, and decided that this is canonically correct. Everything in here is in line. So if you are of the Roman Catholic persuasion, as far as religion is concerned, you may have heard of something called the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha are all the books that didn't make it into the Bible. And there are some
Apocrypha,
strange ideals.
Maccabees.
But the Maccabees are, since have been kind of, I don't want to say goated, but have been seen as maybe something that was, happening. The Maccabean revolt in between the first and second, the Old and New Testament. So there's some truth there, but
appreciate it.
Yeah, the way that it was written, it might not be a canonical history of the Bible.
Yeah.
But even those books that we attribute to the Bible were constructed from other writings. And that's why we have so many different versions of the Bible, because some of these versions say, oh, you know what, I like this translation of this Dead Sea Scroll better, or this is omitted from this Dead Sea Scroll, but it's in this other one, but I don't like what the other one is saying, so I'm going to go with this original one. And that's what textual criticism is. It's putting up the text versus the other text. And because scribes are human, or we're human, we don't really have scribes anymore, except maybe in
we're actually
courtroom.
That's the scrivener. Stenographer, not the scrivener. I was gonna say, anybody here can be down with scribe if they go ahead and hit that link that's in the section below the video.
Yeah, so I'm finally on it, and I put my link in the description. So yeah, if you want a couple months free and you want to bless your boy with a month, go ahead and hit that link, please. It is only it's $10 a month, and it's good. It's good. I wasn't able to find one book that I want to read. Hopefully I read it with the podcast, but I wasn't able to find that one book. But every other book that I have looked for, I was able to find as an audiobook on Script. And that's saying a lot. And if you can't find an audiobook, if you can't find the actual book, there are people out there uploading PDFs. And I
don't understand how, to be honest, some of it just seems like it shouldn't fly, but it does.
It should not.
It does not. Or maybe it should. Maybe it should fly. And these publishing companies, they get put out a new edition every year of university text.
Yeah.
It's $100 each. All right, and no, we can't use the old text. We're going to use the new text. So I got to buy every single text for what? What are we talking about? This is inflation. All right. When you go to Finland, education is free. All right. I don't understand. It's you know what? It's just, that's the text industry's criticism. I'm not going to go too far in that. I do want to rein that in and mention that King James Version gets a whole lot of love. I think at least it did for Urashima Taro 15 years ago, before I left the States, and decided to just send my voice there most of the time. I found that the King James Version for our people is still the one that's the most authoritative. It's written in a certain language that really hits the heart, and regardless of the accuracy or regardless of the current policy as it regards to certain groups feeling this kind of way or that kind of way, King James vibe, and which is absolutely valid for people to feel that way. It's 100% valid. But the King James Version, it's it is what it is, and we're not even going to play with the other translations of it because we don't do that. That's what I found. And I'm wondering if it's still the state of affairs in the States. Do the black churches, acknowledge other versions like that? Or what would be the number two?
Yeah, definitely. I don't go to a black church per se, but
churches.
No. I don't. There's no black people
so-called
where I live.
So-called.
No, dead serious. It is me and one other individual in the church that are black. My children are mixed, and
you got double my
like
numbers.
it's not.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't go to a black church, but I've also seen in black churches New Living Translation. I've seen the Revised Standard Version. I've seen the English Standard Version. You know, so you know,
ESV.
It's not just the King James anymore. Even though the King James was recently, and I say recent, probably 10 years ago, it was recently redone.
You're not talking about in KJV?
No.
Another KJV?
Yes. So they redid the KJV. So there's the 1960 version, and then there's the version after that. So they've redone it a few times. It's not just been like, oh, this is the KJV. Sometimes they redo the standard, just like you were saying with university books. It's like, boom, this is different. But instead of just changing a comma, they're actually poring over the scriptures, and they're taking years upon years upon years and saying, okay, this should be the new standard.
Regardless of the jot or jittle mentioned, jot or tittle. Yes. I didn't want to say that on cross culture, but regardless of what the last book says about that, don't lose nothing. Don't add nothing, or you will suffer the fate. All right. Regardless of that disclaimer, that claimer. All right.
Is that Matthew 5:19?
I'm talking about Revelations.
I'm talking about Matthew 5:19.
Hold on. What are we talking about?
They neither a jot nor a tittle shall be removed from the law.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
But I know the verse that you're talking about also. Yeah, to not change anything.
There's nothing. Lest feel the fury. Everything written in this book.
The wrath of God.
Of God.
Poured out, unmixed.
Yeah. A double portion.
Oh, dang. I'm not trying to have that. All right, but it's about that time to wrap it up. We're 17 minutes over, but it was good conversation, and we hope that you enjoyed it too. Definitely stay up with us. You know, we're on Spotify, we're on Anchor, we're on Google Podcasts. I'm trying to get us on to what is Amazon's Audible. There we go.
Audible.
Yeah.
Audible? Or
yes. Amazon owns Audible.
Or Amazon Music.
One and the same. Because once you put it once you put it in one, it will go to the other.
I thought Audible was for books.
Audible is for books.
Audiobook.
Amazon owns it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do that 48 magic. I don't want to mess it up. Go ahead.
What? No. I'm good. I mean, we're just wrapping up, and I'm about to say, say your line. Say your line.
All right. Well, it's on me. Okay. All right.
Well,
everyone, I'm just letting you know, it's been your boy Tipsy Japan. Go ahead and get yourself a pen, a pad, write it down, and subscribe. That's what it is.
That's what it is. You already know. It's your boy Ace of Cross Culture. Until next time, stay prayed up and be blessed.